Hello students, welcome to your SST class. We are going through chapter number 4 of history. That is what was the position of tribal societies in the colonialism period. That is the British period. What happened to these tribal peoples? As I have told you that the tribals are the people who were living centuries, living in our country centuries, especially in the northeastern part of India, and they were basically having their livelihood through the forest produce. Okay, so what happened to them during the British period? So I have already told you that their freedom were taken away from the Britishers, and they also imposed restriction on them as well, and these restriction was not liked by the tribal people, and there were several rebellions by the tribal people, and today we are discussing. I have already discussed Munda rebellion. It was not complete yesterday, so I will continue from there. So Birsa Munda, he was from Chota Nagpur, and he was born in 1870s in a poor family, as I told you, and he was heard about the rebellion earlier, and he always tried to he didn't like the British interference in their lives, so he always tried to free their tribal people from these people, and he also didn't like the missionaries also, and so in his attempt to free the tribal people from these Britishers, he wanted to reform the Munda society, and for this he got the help of the Sardar or the chiefs of the different tribal groups, and they also wanted to throw away the landlords as well as the Britishers, because these people were exploiting the tribal peoples. So this rebellion was not only agrarian, but it also became political. Okay, he went from one village to another, and he organized meetings with the people and do rallies to inform them about what they wanted to do, to encourage them and to make them aware of the situations, what is going on. His followers attacked the company officials, policemen, landlords and moneylenders. So they were rebellion. So whatever they were in their outrage, what did they do? They attacked company officials, policemen, landlords and the moneylender. So whoever is helping out the Britishers, they thought that they were the enemies, so they attacked these people. So in an attempt to suppress the revolt, so whenever the British saw that the people are not obeying them, they wanted to suppress them by different measures. So what did they do? The British official arrested Munda in 1895. So he was arrested on 1895, and he was accused of causing revolts and riots. It was the tribals were fighting for their freedom, but the Britishers named them that they were revolting and they were creating riots. And he was sentenced for 2 years. He was sent to jail for 2 years. When he was released after 2 years, he restarted his movement again with more energy. In 1899, on Christmas Eve, Birsa proclaimed a rebellion to establish Munda Raj with himself as the head. So he declared himself as the head, and he sought for the Munda Raj, and he encouraged the murder of landlords, moneylenders, rulers, aliens and the Christians. So they were not, they have just no inhibition in murdering these people who are helping out the British. So the non-tribal people, poor people, were spared of this type of actions. He gathered a force of 6,000 Mundas. They were all armed with their traditional weapons like bows, arrows, swords and spears. and their followers raided the property and lands of the moneylenders and the landlords. A white flag was a symbol of Birsa Raj, declared as a symbol of Birsa Raj. He was arrested in 1900. In the same year, he suffered from cholera, and he died in jail in June 1900. After his death, the movement was faded away, but still the movement was so strong that the British had to take some decisions. Governments have had to take some decision, and they have to forced to pass an act, that is Tenancy Act of 1908, and in which the act banned begar and bed, forced labor was banned in this act. And the Birsa movement it also gave safeguards the land rights of the Mundas in their villages. So the Munda was given their land rights through this act. The Birsa movement also displayed the strength, might and courage of the tribal against aliens. So it showed that the tribals were very much keen to have their freedom intact. In course of time, he became a hero. He was still considered as a hero. That's why we are actually studying him about in history book. Okay, so now we will have, there are several tribal movements in the northeast, that is Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya. So basically the tribal people are living in the northeastern part of India, and where northeastern part of India, because it is full of forests, natural resources, they are basically living over there. So Assam, I will discuss about Assam. Assam saw a series of tribal revolts in between 1893 to 94, this 1 year. The main cause of these revolts were the high land revenue demands. We saw that in agrarian revolts also, the high land revenue caused an anger among the peasants. So this was also the cause of the tribal revolt in Assam. As a result of the colonialism, the revenue demand of Darang and Kamrup district got gone by 50 to 70%. So they have to pay revenue 50 to 70%. So they didn't like it and they were exploited. So the peasants failed to pay their revenue. Their lands were seized by the British landlords and British officials. The peasants united together and protested under the leadership of local leaders. The British succeeded in suppressing the revolt, but ultimately the British were able to suppress this revolt. Now what happened in Manipur? In Manipur, the war of succession among the princes of Manipur gave the British a chance to interfere in the internal affairs of the state. So in Manipur also the war of succession started, and the political condition was not stable, so the British had the chance to took over there from there. On the death of the king of Manipur, the eldest son Surchandra was crowned as a new king, but he was overthrown by Prince Tikenderjit and his allies. Surchandra then sought British help to regain the lost power. So the Manipur royalty itself was not united, and they are seeking help from the British in order to have the throne of the king. So the British will put their own conditions. Now they will not do anything in the favor of the Indian princes for free. So the British declared war against Tikenderjit, and on 27 April 1891, although he offered tough resistance, Tikenderjit was defeated, captured and hanged by the British. Later on, a monument called Veer Tikenderjit Park was built in his memory on the place where he was hanged by the British. So he became because he has taken not accepted the British. He didn't surrender to the British. He fight with them. So he was a known name in Manipur. So I will discuss the tribal movements in the northeast about Meghalaya in my next class, and there were other revolts. 2-3 topics are remaining, so I will discuss it about in the next when we meet in the GMET class. And if you have any problem, you can ask me in the GMET class. And so that's it in this topic today. Go through this chapter, go through this topic well, and ask me questions to clear your doubts.